when I think it was Jake's charging down the line there. Is there? I mean, I've been in that situation too, where guys coming down on the suicide squeeze. Like, is there anything? What's going through your mind when that's happening?
I better get it down, or I might never get in that game again. Like, I better get this down, and and just do my job, really. Because, like I said, as soon as you see him running, especially on the suicide, like, dude, if that ball goes anywhere but that ground, it's over with. So I had to get it down.
You've done a really good job in those kind of sacrifice situations, but you also had that RBI single. How good did it feel to make that contact and get that running?
It felt great. I'm starting off slow this year, and I've been working, trying to improve, get to where I need to be, and today was a great step in the right direction for me. So I'm really happy about it.
How have you kind of managed, being in and out of the lineup so far this season?
I feel like, I don't really care, honestly. I want us to win. I came back to go to Omaha, and whether I play or not, I want to contribute to winning, and I want us to go to Omaha, honestly. So, everybody's playing great. So, I think that I'm handling it pretty well, I guess.
He's a great 22-year-old senior. You got a freshman on the mound in his first SEC spot there to close the game. How did you feel with Casan on the mound?
He's one of our guys, right? Freshman or not, y'all see the stuff. He can get anybody out. And, I just talked to him in the dugout and everything, just wanted him to stay confident and like, hey, man, look, you had the stuff to get anybody out, no matter who's up there. So just wanted to keep his confidence, and, he was a great player, great pitcher.
How was he able to reset there in the 8th inning where Jay said they had no more mound visits, and he just had to do it out there all himself? Like, what did he do to get back into it, I guess?
Honestly, I don't even know what he did. He just he just locked in, I guess. I don't know, but he got the bases got loaded. Obviously it's not ideal, but he got out of it, and I think that showed a lot of maturity from him, especially as a young kid, and getting out of it. That's a big step for him, and we have a lot of big series coming up, and he's gonna have to be in those situations a lot, and that definitely will help him experience-wise in the future.
As you've been going through, I guess, kind of this slow start, what have you been doing to sort of trying to get yourself out of it, I guess?
Just work. Same thing happened last year. A lot of people don't remember, but I started off the first non-conference play batting, I think 220, 210 in non-conference too. So it's not really a big deal to me. Just whenever this happens, just have to, keep my mouth shut and work, and get in the lab and work on mechanics and make sure my time is good, and, go over it with Chief, and, make sure I get in the right direction. So try to get where I need to be.
Do you feel like you sort of found that timing a little bit tonight?
Oh, yeah. Like I said, over the last few games, I feel like my IB's been getting better and better, as the games go on. Xavier, I hit a ball really hard and, took some good ABs, and then been kind of trying to keep that momentum going. And I feel like today was a big step for me. And I feel like, the more and more we get going in SEC play, I feel like I'll be where I need to be. So.
There's been a couple times this year where you're at third base and whoever's catching, you guys kind of come over and talk to the pitcher. Just kind of talk about your moment tonight, kind of to calm things down. And then just over the course, where do you feel like you kind of found your voice to be able to go talk to the pitcher and use this visit and kind of recenter?
Yeah, the guys who were on the bump were guys who had never played in SEC play before, like Schmidt, right? We all know the talent, we all know what he has on the mound and what he can do. And he got out of it the first inning he was in there, and the second, he kind of, faltered a little bit, and I just went out there and, told him to just relax and just take a deep breath and make good pitches. And it's funny, I walked out there, he said, I'm good. And I was like, well, you don't look that good. And it was funny, they just tried to calm him down. So, it's just, just trying to get the kids, a little, settled in, and, because we're going to need them a lot this year, a lot. So.
Is it weird to say kids? You're 22.
Oh, man, I'm an old man in this thing, man. I already know. Shoot, I already know it.
You played a lot of SEC ball, and obviously last year it took you guys a while to win your first SEC series. I know it only took 2 games this time. Where do you think this team is right now?
Wait, repeat the question one more time.
Sorry, where do you think this team is right now, given what you've experienced in SEC play?
I feel like we're in a great spot. We're winning games that we need to win. At the end of the day, we take each day at a time. And each game at a time. And I don't really look forward. We don't really look forward all that much. And I think that's the best thing about our team is we focus on one game at a time. And then doing that, you keep doing that on every game, then it'll handle itself. So I think we're in a really good spot.
That big ground ball, I think it was in the 7th inning. How'd you sort of read that play, and Was that like a good example of how you've just become a little bit more comfortable playing that position?
Yeah, I mean, when I first got out there at third, I probably would have sat back and read a little bit more, tried to pick it. But now, I mean, Coach, I've been working with Ben DePolt, who's a coach here now, and working with him and trying to work on attacking the ball in first step going in and working on my first step, and that was a play where I needed to do that. Saw the ball take a big bounce off the grass and had to charge it, and that's what you had to do. So.
The defense was in some pressure situations late in the game. You guys being able to execute only 20 games sounds like a lot, but also is not a lot when you talk about how many games you normally play in a season. So for you guys to be executing in those pressure-packed situations defensively this early in the season, how good is that to see?
That's great because, I mean, we've been playing – I feel like our team has played great defense all year, and we're a great defensive team. We have a lot of great – I mean, Stevie S. Short, I mean, Danny S. second. I mean, that middle infield is, I mean, one of the top defensive middle infielders at least in the country. And I feel like our whole team is great defensively, and I feel like it'll carry over to the whole SEC play the whole season and into the playoffs. And everybody knows defense wins championships, so hopefully we can keep that statement true.
Two more for Michael.
How often? I mean, you kind of mentioned it earlier, but how often have you been working? Have you worked on bunts during your time here? Like, how often are you doing it in practice and like that sort of stuff?
A lot. Because like I've always been a guy that I try to move the offense along and keep the offense moving and help us win no matter what I can. If I'm not hitting, I want to play great defense, and if I need to put a bunt down, I put a bunt down, and I'll do whatever coach asks me to do. So just really that.
How are your knees, Michael?
Oh, they're great. I'm feeling healthy, ready to go.
Not bothering you at all?
Nah, I'm good, man.
Good.
All right, thank you, Michael.
All right, thank you.
Michael. Thank you, man. So you walked the batter to load the bases in the 8th inning. Did you know that you had to reset on your own there, and the coach couldn't come out to talk to you at all? Like, how did you sort of reset in that moment?
Just kind of controlling my breath. That was it. Carlene comes in with us. I want to say once a month, and she talks to us about our mental game, and that's a big thing with me is controlling my breath and being able to stay composed on the mound. So in that moment, it was just catching my breath and being able to calm me down so I wasn't trying to do too much.
Coach talked about the kind of adrenaline dump. You get the big punch out to finish the 8th, and you got to sit, and you got to come back out in the 9th. Is it hard to get back ramped up to finish the game?
Not really. I feel like for me, I mean, I got adrenaline going the whole game, even if I'm in or not. So when I went back in the dugout, I mean, if you were to see me, I was pacing up and down. So there was no, like, the adrenaline was still there. I know I adrenaline dump often when in big situations, but at that moment, it was just such a tight situation that it was still with me.
What was that moment like?
It was crazy. I had never experienced it before. So just being able to go out in the 7th inning and be in front of all those fans in a tight situation, this kind of game, especially SEC, was just different. And it's amazing. I'm glad to be a part of it.
You've been in that
Did you hear them?
situation.
Sorry,
Go ahead,
John.
Cody.
Could you hear the crowd when you're out there?
Oh,
Could you
yeah.
hear them?
Oh, yeah, I could hear him. If you can't, you're crazy. Just saying.
You've been in that kind of situation before, maybe not as high leverage as that, but in Biloxi, right, against Sanford, I think it was kind of a similar situation where you were behind and you had to get ahead and get out to win that game for you guys. Did that prepare you at all for this moment?
It did. It really did. That was a different situation, different team, different stakes. So just being able to do that in SEC play, I feel like is the biggest thing for me. I was also brand new to the team, so just trying to prove a point, and I proved it back in Biloxi, so just trying to keep it going now that we're in SEC play.
Was there anything physical or mechanical that felt different once you had reset? Was there like a release point thing that just felt better?
No, I wouldn't say anything changed or felt better. It was all the same. It was just being able to control myself. That's the big thing for me. And when I can't control myself, then everything starts to spray. So just being able to contain myself and go out there and do what I do best.
You mentioned like resetting yourself through breathing. Like, what is your breathing sort of technique or routine? Or
Yeah, so usually I'll skip Burtman up at the top of the press box. I'll look at the inside of the P and kind of just focus in on that. And then I'll do like 3 seconds in, 3 seconds out. And it's proven to calm your body down and you'll have less stress that way. So I kind of do that before every first pitch of the inning, and then if I'm in situations like that, I'll end up doing it.
Did you feel like Jay was going to send you out for the ninth, or did you feel like you had to ask him? Or?
No, he told me before the game. He said, "Be ready to go in this game if it gets close." And so
I mean for the ninth after your.
Oh no, I was planning on going back out there either way, unless he told me not to. So I was mentally prepared and physically prepared.
How'd you feel physically? That's the most pitches you've thrown this year. Obviously in high school you would have done that, but how'd you feel physically tonight?
I felt great. We prepared for it before the season. I would go 40 pitches to our own players. So doing that before the season prepared me for tonight, and just being able to throw every day of the week also keeps my body in good health.
What do you like about those high leverage moments?
The adrenaline, for sure. I mean, it's just a different feeling that you can't get anywhere else.
Defensively, they played clean tonight. Obviously, they were in a couple of pressure-packed situations. When you guys are on the bump in those moments, just your confidence level in the guys behind you to, play clean and get you guys out of those situations.
Yeah, I mean, having that infield behind me is, they're better than anybody else in the country. With Stevie at shortstop and Dickinson at second, and then Braz or Tanner Reeves at third, you know that most of the plays are going to be made, and if they're not, then you just got to get back up there and throw another strike and hope for the best. So it's pretty fun playing with those guys, especially after you watched them on TV last year.
To that end, obviously, I'm sure you had confidence in yourself, but could you have anticipated coming in here and playing this kind of role on a team like this? Did you know it's talented, it's got all this tradition, all that stuff?
I imagined it. I didn't think I'd be in this big of a role. I thought Gavin Guidry would have this role, but being able to have the chance to go in situations like that has really boosted my confidence, and I feel like just the team being behind me in those situations helps me even more.
Do you feel like the strike zone was tight tonight?
A little bit.
It seemed like there was some frustration, maybe not from the mound, but more from the dugout about what was going on there. Like, how did the teams just sort of try to, fight that, I guess?
Well, it's kind of hard to tell the strike zone from the dugout, but when you see one of the pitchers on the mound kind of get a little frustrated, and the dugout knows, then they'll heckle the umpire like crazy, or even the players. So being out there and being able to stay composed under those situations is kind of better in that situation. But I had to get some words off. So
I think every guy has mentioned this in some form or fashion. I wanted to ask you, how much fun is this team? You weren't here last year, but guys just talk about how much fun they're having playing. And obviously, a moment like that is pressure-packed, but it's also a game that's fun. How much fun are you having?
Oh, a lot of fun. I can't even explain how much. From coming from high school, where it's just, it's baseball, but it's nothing like this, and being able to be with all these studs, knowing that some of them are going to be in the league someday, it's just insanely fun. It's hard to explain.
Kind of going off what Scott said, though, but you're also kind of, it's early, but you're entering this territory where fans are starting to take notice. Have you let yourself kind of sit back and look at the fact that you're becoming a big piece of this puzzle?
I have noticed it, and sometimes I sit back and I can't even believe that I'm at LSU. The powerhouse of college baseball, one of the biggest programs in college baseball history. I kind of sit back and I'm just like, this is crazy that I made it here. It's finally paying off, but there's still work to do.
Two more for Casan.
I think I saw Gavin come to race with you there after that last pitch. Did he say anything to you? I know it was short.
Yeah, well, it's just like a great job. We talked before the game, and he's known that I'm going to be in these situations. Him and Coach Johnson have a really good connection, so him being able to relay some of that stuff to me is good for me to prepare mentally, and just being able to talk to him every day about things like that, because I know he's been in those situations before. So him being able to tell me about them and just telling me how to stay composed is really good.
What are some things that he tells you?
He's just try to stay calm. He's not trying to, he says don't do too much. You don't need to overpower him with a fastball, because anybody can hit a fastball in this league. So just be able to spot up pitches and go compete.
Thank you, Casan.
Thanks, Casey.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.